Oh, am I muted?
And now click desktop audio. There you go, now you're all good.
Hello. Let's try that again. Hello, I think I was live, but I was on mute. Oh, good start. So now let me know if you can hear me. Say hello in the comments, say hello in the chat. Welcome back to the National Videogame Museum's YouTube channel. You can hear me now, yay! That's good, okay. Excellent, right. Hello, hello, hello. I'm hoping that we are all good. We're problem free now. So, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Do let me know how you're doing. Is it Friday yet? It's not Friday, it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday I think it's Friday. It's because I have a Friday live stream as well. But let me know how your Tuesday is going. It's still the morning time, so what are you doing this morning? What are your plans for this afternoon? Please let me know. And I should say that last Friday I had some issues with the comments. So lots of lovely people were leaving comments and I couldn't see them. So I'm very sorry, but I was very grateful for them. I saw them all afterwards, so I'm sorry that I couldn't see them. Yeah. It's always Friday when Leah is streaming. Ah, thank you. We've got Ben in the comments. Hi, yeah, I heard, but I had to make a channel to comment. Oh, well, thank you for making a channel just so you could comment. That is very nice of you. So, hello everyone. I think we've got some people watching now. Scratch is the best. Ah, yeah, we're going to be doing some Scratch. We're going to be doing a little bit of Piskel as well. Hello, Sarah. How are you all this morning? I am good. So, I think I can just get started. So thank you for joining us again. We are back. It's our, I've lost count now, to 5th live stream. So it's our 3rd week that we're doing these live streams. And this is our 3rd in the sort of learning with video games or creating video games. So we have, I'm not called Sarah. Oh no. Okay. What's your name? Tell me your name and I'll get it right. Let's see. All right, okay. Sorry, I keep calling people the wrong names because people are using different accounts to watch these, but I do apologise. So yeah, we are back. We're going to be doing a little more creative stuff, building video games. So while the museum is obviously closed at this time. Oh, you're Tom. Okay, you're definitely not called Sarah. You're called Tom. Hello, Tom. So welcome. Yeah, so while we are shut, while the museum is closed, we're going to be doing some of these live streams every week, twice a week, to get you making stuff at home. We've got some more people in the comments. We've got Tom, we've got Max, age 6 is watching. Hello, Max. Thank you for watching. And Maya is in there as well. Hello, Maya. Thank you for watching. We've got another Sarah. Is your name actually Sarah? I'm hoping so. Hello. Maybe not. Welcome. So today we are going to be exploring some of the things that we explored in the last couple of live streams. Don't worry if you haven't seen those yet. That's absolutely fine. So you can go back and watch them at another time if you want to, but I will be explaining everything today as well, so you won't be missing out on everything. We've got some more people. My son, age 14, is watching. Hello, Sarah's son. Lovely to have you here. And we've got, my name is Alex, and my mum is called Natasha. Hello. Oh, hello everyone. Oh, there's lots of you watching. Oh, thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. I'm going to get it right. I keep thinking it's Friday on these streams. Yes, today we're going to be doing a little bit of Scratch, but that's a little bit later on. Oh, we've got Cheryl in the comments as well. I'm getting very excited about the comments. I'm sorry. We will be doing something today, I promise you. So, as I said, we're going to be... Oh, you're Jacob. Hello. So you're not Cheryl. You're Jacob. Oh, everyone watching with different accounts is going to get confusing, but I'll try and keep track. You've been doing Python a bit. Oh, that is amazing. Python can be very tricky, so it could work. We're going to be working with Scratch, which is a little bit, I think, easier to get your head around, but it's a great place to start if you want to do some more coding. So we're going to be, as I said, using Scratch, but we're also going to be using Piskel as well. So that's the one that we explored, the software we explored in the first live stream we did, where we made pixel art. And last week we explored Scratch and we recreated Pong in Scratch. So today we're sort of combining the things that we learnt. Oh, we've got more people in the comments as well. Okay, so we have a Sam. I'm the son, I'm Sam. Okay, that's good. So, oh, that's going to be confusing. None of the Sarahs are called Sarahs. So we've got Tom and a Sam. We've got Harley. Hello. Hello, amazing. Right, well, thank you all for joining us. We're going to sort of get started now. So we will be coming back to Scratch. We won't start with Scratch. But yes, it is block coding. So some of you might have used Scratch before. You might be familiar with it and how it works, but I will be explaining. And if you want sort of another look at Scratch as well, you can go back to the last live stream that we did and you can watch that. It's still up on YouTube, and you can, ask us some questions in the comments on those live streams as well, because we will still be checking and answering them. So let's get started. We're about 10 minutes in. Oh no. So let's start with Piskel. So in case you haven't used Piskel before, or you missed our first live stream, it's somewhere you can create pixel art. So it's free to use online. You need a computer or a laptop to use it. This one doesn't work with like a tablet yet, but we're going to be using it today to create some pixel art to put into a game on Scratch. So we're combining the skills that we learned already, hopefully, but you can still follow along if you haven't watched those streams. So this is what Piskel looks like. It sounds a bit like Pixel, so I might get them confused, but it's Piskel app. So if you type that into your browser, you should find it. You can create an account, but you don't have to, and you can download it if you want to use it offline as well. So this is what it looks like when you first open it up. So you can see there are some examples. There's some information down here as well. And yeah, this is free to use. Anyone can use it. And you can make some great things with it as well. Oh, we've got some incredible emojis happening in the comments as well. Is that a tiny dab? It is amazing. So let's get creating. So I did have some ideas for what we were going to make today, but hopefully we'll have a chance for you to shout some ideas at me as well, and tell me the kind of things we're going to make. So we're going to start by making a background for Scratch so that we can pop the game on it as well. Oh, we've got more emojis happening. Yes. Okay, great. So we're going to make the background for our Scratch game. So if we go back to Scratch, this is our background at the moment, sort of our stage as it's called. This is where the game is going to be sort of happening. So if you think of it like you're watching a theatre, you've got a stage, you've got some sort of backdrop behind you. At the moment, it's just white, there's nothing there. We can use backdrops that Scratch has kindly provided for us, so we can choose one. They have a big library of backgrounds. Or if you want to make a more specific game, you can make one yourself, and that's what we're going to be using Piskel for. And we're also going to be animating it in Scratch as well. Oh, we've got some cute cats. Oh, is anyone else isolating with cats? Because I'm very jealous. I'd definitely like to be isolating with a cat. Or a duck. Or I mean, you could be isolating with a duck as well. Maybe you've got a duck at home. So, let's have a look. We are going to create a sprite. So, when you want to make a sprite with Piskel, you click Create Sprite, and it'll bring up a new page, and this is where you're going to be making everything, okay? So, we need to do some specific things to this to make sure it fits Scratch. So, you can resize it over here. So, if we go over here, click Resize, you can change the shape and the size of the sort of canvas that you're working with in Piskel. So you can sort of play around with the shape and size in Scratch as well. You can change it, make it bigger or smaller, but that can be tricky if you're animating. So it can be tricky. You have to make everything exactly the right size, and that can be a little bit tricky to do in Scratch as well. Oh, we've got a sad comment. I would be, but my cat died. I'm very sorry. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. So let's go. Right. Maybe we can do something nice to honour your cat. We are going to start with, let's have a look, the background. So if you've never used Piskel before, it's quite easy to use. If you've used Microsoft Paint, you might recognise it. So you've got a pen tool, so you can do some drawings. If you click on the pen, click like here, you can draw. I'll sort of speed through the introduction to Piskel just because that's not what we're focusing on today. And if you do want more of an explanation, you can go back to the first live stream and you can watch that one as well. Or the best way to sort of figure out how Piskel works is just to play around with it. There are lots of tools and they can look a little bit confusing at first, but actually they're quite easy to use, okay? So do let me know if you've used any of these things before as well, so I kind of know what we're aiming at. But it's very, very simple to use this one. So you sort of click with the mouse and you drag around, and that's how you draw. If you click Control Z on your keyboard, you can undo things in case you make a mistake. It's a worm. It is a worm. It's a wiggly worm. So we're going to make it something else that's sort of wiggly, but not a worm today, just to give you a hint. So we want the paint bucket tool. So I think we're going to make an underwater scene because in our first Piskel stream, we made an octopus. So I think we're going to be using that octopus. So we need to make a background for them. I wonder if I can find them. Should we have a look? My gallery. So you can, if you make an account, you can see all the things we've made before. So this is the octopus that we made before, wiggling around. So I think we need to make an underwater scene that we can pop our video game character in. Right, so let's go back to create a sprite. So, oh, worm. Right, let's see. We need the paint bucket tool. So I'm going to make the big background blue because we're underwater. So down here, we have our colours. So we can pick a nice blue. Pick a nice blue underwatery colour. We don't want it too bright because we don't want to sort of hurt our eyes. Is that the right kind of blue? Should it be a bit more green? Want a nice sort of bluey green. Oh, it's quite bright. As long as that doesn't hurt our eyes, I think we should be all right. So that's our background. So I use the paint bucket tool to fill in the whole area because I want the whole thing to be blue. Now we could stop here. We could just pop this. It's too bright. Are we saying it's too bright? Should we make it a little bit darker? Ooh, that's quite dark. Should we make it a little bit bluer? Like that. How are we doing? I think that should be okay. Right, so we could leave it like this. We could pop this into Scratch as well. But it's not that interesting. I mean, it's just a big blue square, isn't it? So we can add a little bit more detail, I think. So we're going to get our pen tool. And I think I'm going to add some sand. So let's have a look. Let's get a nice yellowy colour. Is that a sand colour? And so up here you've got the size of your pen as well. So if you click on the pen again and you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can do that here. So let's put some sand down the bottom here. That is where the sand is underneath the sea, isn't it? It is at the bottom of the ocean. So don't have to make it even. I think we'll add some fun things as well. So let's have a look. There we go. So we've got some sand. I think that's looking okay so far. And then I think I'm going to add some things that we can animate. So it's quite hard to animate the water. You can, if you can figure it out. But I'm going to animate some seaweed. I think I'm going to put some seaweed under here. under the ocean, sort of floating about. Maybe I'll make that a little bit thicker so it's easier to see, like that. Some floaty seaweed, and I'll show you how to animate it to make it move around as well. There we go. I hate sand, it gets everywhere. That is very true. Sand does get everywhere. But at least it's under the ocean, it's far away from us, it's fine. And it's pixel sand, so it's a little bit different. Right, so we've got some seaweed floating about. I think I'm going to add some rocks and a little bit of detail. Wow, oh my god. OMG, it's awesome. Ah, thank you. That's nice. Let's add, I think maybe we should add a couple of rocks down here as well. I think, like that. Because there are lots of stones and things under there as well. And then what about if we add a little bit of shading? So you can go back to the colours that you're using. It still gets everywhere. Even the pixel sand gets everywhere. It's true. So let's have a look. We'll make this a little bit darker. So you can go back, all the colours that you've used, we'll pop in this palette in here, and they'll be over here as well. So you can always go back if you've lost the colour, which is very helpful. So let's add, I think we're going to add a little bit of shading down here. And some dots of sand too. Like that. Let's have a look. It's very hard to draw and talk at the same time. I tend to always get very distracted. Like that. There we go. So we've got a little bit of shading now. Great. So that is our underwater scene, I think. But now we need to get it moving. Oh, you're very good at it. Thank you. I have been practicing quite a lot just to prepare for these streams. And the best way to sort of get better at things is to practice. And that's all I've been doing. So it's quite fun to do as well. Oh, I tell you what I didn't do. I didn't add layers, but we'll be okay. So to what I just did there, I just copied that frame. So I'm going to try and make this algae move again. So to do that, I am going to copy it. So up here you can see there's a little button that says duplicate the frame. And that just makes another copy. So at the moment they are the same sort of thing. So I am going to edit the second frame slightly so we can get it wiggling and moving about. So let's get this pen, and I'm just going to, let's have a look. Go back to, is this the color we were using? Yes, it is. So I'm just going to rub out that algae. Oh, that was a little bit too much. So you might be able to tell as well. It depends on the screen you might be watching. There's a little sort of shadow of our sort of seaweed there. So you can still see it a little bit. It's not there on this frame, it's on the last frame, but it's showing you what was on the last frame, on the last picture, so you can edit it, and that helps with the animation. So you might see up on this little preview square here, it's sort of flashing, and that's because it's flashing between the two images. So it's showing the first one and then the second one after the other. But we obviously don't want the seaweed to just disappear every second or so. So we're going to need to edit it a little bit. So I'm going to go back to that green algae colour that we were using. And I think we were on the second pen. And I'm going to go over this little shadow, so where it was, but not exactly. I want the seaweed to sort of be doing this, like doing a little wiggle under the ocean. So I'm going to kind of go over it, but not exactly like that. And then I'll show you what I mean. You should start to see, ta-da, like it do a wiggle. Can you see it sort of wiggling? So it's not disappearing anymore. It's doing a little wiggle. That will be very hard to see if maybe you're on a phone or something, but it will become clearer, don't worry. At the moment it's going quite quickly, so I can slow it down, but actually the animation, the actual movement of everything will be happening in Scratch. So when I did this workshop the first time, I showed you how to animate it and then save it, and you could save it as a GIF. So if you wanted to, you could save this as a GIF and then like send it around if you wanted to add some more details, and it would be moving together. But we're going to save each of these animations sort of pictures, each of these images that we make individually, so one after the other, and then we're going to pop them into Scratch, and the animation is going to happen there through the magic of coding. Okay, so this is just sort of preparing the background. So we can do that one more time, so we'll give it a proper wiggle. So at the moment it's just going back and forth like this, so we want to get it doing more of a dance. So let's copy that last frame. So we'll copy the second frame that we did, and we're going to edit this one again. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to rub those out. Let's get a bigger pen so that's quicker. Rub those out again. And this is just like sort of the simplest animation I can do, but even like a little bit of animation when you're making your game in the background can look very fun. So let's see. So at the moment it's wiggling and then it's disappearing, but we need to add it back in. So let's go back to that green seaweed color. And let's do this. So let's draw over it, but not exactly. I think I'm going to go this way. So it's sort of up to you which way you do it. Oh, that's got like a big twist in it. So now you might be able to see that it's doing a proper little dance. It's going quite quickly. We can slow it down. Or we can speed it up. Like that. Ta-da! Okay. So we have three different frames. So at the moment, it's, you know, it's underwater. It's a little underwater scene. But there's nothing else happening. So we want to pop this into Scratch so we can get it moving in our game, and also make it do other things as well. So we need to save this, but before we save it, we need to resize it. So I'm resizing afterwards because I find it a little bit easier to draw. But when you resize, it can change the way things look ever so slightly. So if you sort of go back you've got these options over here. So options, you can save things. You can change the way that your canvas, the place that you're drawing, is laid out as well. But right now I'm going to click on the resize button. So you can see when you hover over it, it'll pop up and it'll say resize, just in case you're not sure. So I'm going to click on that, and this is where you decide how big the area that you're drawing is. So how many pixels. So we have to think about the resolution. Okay, I'll explain what this means. We have to think about the resolution in Scratch. So the resolution is like the size or the amount of pixels on the screen. So different video game consoles, especially the older ones, had a different amount of pixels. They had different resolutions, which is why lots of the games back in the day, when they first came out, were made out of these little pixels. So there was a lot less detail. They're still great, they're still fun to play, but there's lot less detail because there's less pixels in the technology that they were using. So now we can have really, really detailed things, but we don't have to. We can also go back and use that pixel art style and have a little bit of fun with it ourselves. So the resolution for Scratch, this is something you can look up as well. You can find it online very easily if you're unsure, but it's 480 times 360. So it's 480 pixels wide this way, and then 360 pixels up like this. So at the moment, ours is 80 by 80, which obviously isn't the right size for Scratch. So we can change it here, basically. Ha, epic, epic, nice. So we want the width, so the way across like this way on my screen, to be 480. So I'm just going to type that in. Now we don't want our height to be the same. So it's not a perfect square, it's a rectangle. So we want to click this off, maintain aspect ratio, and that just means that it's the same every way around. So we don't need that. We want it to be 360 pixels, okay? Instead, and I want it to resize. So let's resize. Ta-da! Okay, so it has changed the size a little bit. It's made it a little bit flatter this way, okay? Da-da-da. So do keep that in mind. You can resize it before you start if you want to do something really detailed, but it can change the way that your pixels look on the screen as well. Okay, I can show you what that means later on as well. So we've got the right size canvas, and we have our wiggling seaweed as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save each of those images. So I'm going to click save here, or not save, I should say, on this, save is saving to your account in Piskel. So if you do make an account, you can save everything, like when I found my octopus, so everything that you make is in the same place, basically. So you can save it. I'll save it here, save it to my gallery. But to download it to your computer and to be able to upload it into Scratch, you need to export it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go to PNG, that's what we need. And we need to download each frame individually. And oh, I've just realized that I've got it scaled up, so it's really big. So we don't need it scaled up, we need it that size, don't we? Resolution 480 times 360 pixels. There we go. Let's have a look. So right down the bottom, there's different ways that you can save it, and the way that you save it will depend on what you're using it for. So if you're using a different program, if you're using Game Maker, for example, have a little bit of do a little bit of research, have a look at the way that you need to upload it into those programs, because it will change depending on each one. But we just want to download a single frame. So we're going to download each different picture that we've made. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's download that one. And then I'm going to do the same for number 2. Download. Let's have a look. Oh, wrong one. Download. Okay. So that is our background. So now we need to get into Scratch, and we need to upload it, and we need to get it moving. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Right, so this is what Scratch looks like when you open it. You will have a little scratchy cat, but I've gotten rid of him today because we're going to upload our own little octopus. So that's what we're going to do. But first, we need the background. So in the bottom corner, you should see you've got choose a sprite, and we've got choose a backdrop. So we want to choose a backdrop. And I'm going to click on upload. Now, I don't think you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm basically going into my downloads, and I am going to open all of these. There we go. So I clicked and dragged them all in, or you can do it one at a time by clicking each one. So this is where your coding happens, and then if you click on backgrounds, you've got the 3 backgrounds. Okay. Now, when you're coding the animation in Scratch, so not like the control, not like, you know, press the left button and move left. When you're changing the way that something looks in Scratch, you're actually changing the costume. So if you're wanting to animate your character, animate the sprite that you upload, you're not uploading a different sprite every time. You're changing the costume of one sprite. Now, I will do that so you can see how that works and what I mean, just in case you're a bit confused. But we're going to do it with the background first as well. So there we go. So we've got 3 backgrounds here. We don't need that white background anymore, so I'm just going to click on that little bin there, and that'll get rid of it. And now we've got 3 backgrounds. So you can actually code the background when you're working in Scratch, so or our stage. So we'll go back to coding, and you always know which one you're coding in Scratch because it's got a little picture in top corner of the coding area. So this is where you're clicking and dragging all of those blocks. Now we want the animation, we want our background to be moving from when our game starts. So we need to go to the events, and we start with when the green flag is clicked. So when the game starts, when we click go, that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so let's have a look. We need when the flag clicked, and then we want this to happen forever. So we're going to need a forever block, and a forever block is this strange looking one here. There you go. And this block, anything that you put inside it, in that little sort of mouth there, will happen forever and ever. It will just loop and loop and loop. Okay, so let's have a look. We need to make the costume change for the background, and we need to do that 3 times, and that is changing the way it looks. So when you're looking at the coding blocks at this side here, there's one that says looks, and that changes the way that it looks. Makes perfect sense. So we're going to click on that one, these purple ones, and you can see that one of them says switch backdrop to, and then there's different things here. So we can use this one, or we can use that one, but we're going to start with this one. Right, so we swap the background to a Piskel, to new Piskel 1, so that's our first one. And then we could add in another one here, and we change that to 2 when it's flat clicked, and then we can see it, but it only changes once, like that. We need it to wait for a bit, okay? Oh, there's lots of cats in boxes happening in the comments. Nice. We want to wait, so we want an event to happen. Oh, sorry, we want to control it, so we want it to wait for a bit. So let's do that. We are going to click this box here. It says wait 1 second. And then we're going to put another one in underneath as well. And now it will wait a second, and it will go between 2 of them. So that's kind of wiggling already. We've got a little bit of movement, but we have another frame. So we can do that again, but I am going to click on this one. I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to copy those. So I could go back and click all those coding blocks and drag them in again, or I can just copy them, pop them in like that. So we've got 1, 2, and we need to change this one to 3. So that should change between each of the backgrounds. And you can change the amount of seconds, so you don't have to have it waiting 1 second. If you want it to be a little bit quicker, we can do that as well. I'm going to put 0.5. I'm going to do half a second between each background. And because it's in that forever block, it's just going to keep going round and round and round for the whole time that our game is going. There we go. It's moving. So we have a moving background. So when our game starts, our background starts to move, which is great. And that just involves changing the costumes. Excellent. Right, so let's have a look. We need to add a sprite now. So where's my octopus? So I'm going back to my octopus. I'm going to edit that sprite, and I'm going to save it. So this was made in a slightly different way, but we made this one in the first episode of our live stream. So if you want to see how we made this as a little bit more detail, you can go back and have a look. But I'm going to do the same thing again. I am going to save each of those frames. We've got 3 frames again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download 1, 2, and 3. And then, in the same way that we uploaded our backdrop, we're going to upload our sprite. So a sprite is something that you can code and interact with in your game. It's like your video game character or an item, those kinds of things. So we're going to upload them. This time I'm going to upload the first one. Oh, he's very small, isn't he? I wonder if I can make him a little bit bigger. Oh, not that big. Yeah, we can. So if you want to change the size of your sprite, you can do that by making it, let's see, make it 200%. So a size of 100%, like that. There we go. Or you can, when you're saving in oh, which one? You can scale it up here, so you can make it a little bit bigger as well. Okay, right. So now we have another tab here that says costumes. So we've uploaded our sprite. Here he is, and we can change our costumes. So let's do that. Now I might have to do this a little bit again, but I'm gonna test it because I might need to size it up in Piskel for it to work properly in Scratch. But we'll have a go. So I'm going to upload a costume. So instead of uploading another sprite, we just want to upload another costume for this sprite. Otherwise we'll have multiple octopuses all on under the sea. So we just want one. Oh, no, I don't need to choose a costume. Go back. I need to upload one. Let's have a look. Come on. Oh, no. I've added a ghost. Whoops. Let's get rid of that one. Let's upload a costume. So I'm just going to upload another one from our documents. There we go. And I think they're both the same size. So actually, I think we're okay. So now we've got two, and you can see when I click between the costumes, he's starting to do a wiggle as well. Horrors under the sea. Yeah, we don't want any horrors under the sea today. We don't want any ghosts. We're going to stick with this friendly looking octopus, I think. And so I've got another costume to add. So I'm going to upload another costume. Just going into my documents, and now I've got three. So if I click between them now, you should see his tentacles are doing a little wiggle as he's floating about underneath the ocean. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so we need to code the costumes like we did with the background with the octopus. So we're going to do the same thing. So that's very handy that the coding is basically the same. There's just a few tiny differences. So we're going to go into our coding. And again, when our game starts, we want our octopus to be moving around. So we're going to go with the events, and we're going to go click when flag clicked. So this is the one that you always have to start with. You have to start with one of these. It's got this little bump at the top. That's how you know. So that's how the coding sort of starts. And we want a forever block. So we want this to be happening just forever. So we can code the octopus to do different things, but right now we just want it to be doing that. So let's have a look. And then we need the looks again. So we're going to change the way it looks. We're going to change the costume. And now, instead of saying backdrop, it should say costume as well. So we need to change the costume like that. And we're going to change it to 1 first of all. And we're going to go into control where we've got our wait 1 second. And we've got 1 second. And I'm going to change that to 0.5 again. Just like the background. And now I'm going to right click. Oh, we've got loads of dogs. Look at all those dogs. Right, we're going to right click and we're going to duplicate. So we've got another one. But we don't want it to just swap between one costume. We need it to go octopus 2. And I'm going to duplicate that one again. So just copy it again. And I'm going to go to 3. And then, fingers crossed, when I click this flag, our octopus should start to move around. Yeah, there he goes. So now we have a wiggly octopus under the sea. I might make him a little bit bigger for you. So I'm just going to change that size. There you go. So he is a bit bigger. And he's got some bubbles around him. He's floating. He's having a lovely time. Okay. So that is our animation. So we've added a background that we've made ourselves. And we've animated it. And we've added a sprite that we've also made ourselves. And we've animated it as well. So when you're working with Scratch, you don't just have to make or use the things that Scratch has provided. So they've got a big library. So if you do want something specific, you can get started right away. And you can use the backdrops and the costumes and characters that they have provided for you. But if you want to do your own thing, you can go into Piskel and you can make your own characters and you can make a game with the things that you come up with. And that can be absolutely anything. So I've just happened to have made an underwater scene, but you could do anything you like, which is quite exciting. But at the moment, it's not really a game. So I think I'm going to quickly make this into a little game for us. So if you do this, you can have a go yourself. Okay, I hope everyone's following. I hope everyone's sort of with me so far. Do let me know if you have any questions. Pop questions in the chat as well. Oh. Oh no, we have time now. So do let me know if you have any questions. That is absolutely fine. Pop them in the comments. And let's have a look. So, right, I'm going to make this into a little game. So, to do that, I think I'm going to add something for our octopus to chase. Now, I need to go back into Piskel, and I think I'm going to create a new one. I'm hoping you can all see this. And I am feeling peckish this morning, and I think I would quite like a donut. So I think I'm going to make a donut. Now, I know that you don't really find donuts under the sea, But that's what I'd like right now. So I'm going to make one for our octopus, I think. So let's have a look. Ta-da! Let's click on the circle. So you've got a circle tool as well. So donuts are usually round. I'm going to make like a Homer Simpson type of donut. So let's do that. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag. And I've chosen a donut-y shape colour. And I've got to make the hole in the middle as well. There we go. And then I'm going to use a paint bucket and I'm going to fill that in, and that is a donut, but I think we need some icing, and I'm going to go with a pink Homer icing. There we go. Oh no, we don't want a pink donut. I'm going to go back to the pen tool, and I'm going to just quickly whip up a donut for us. And this is when the fun really begins, when you can just sort of do whatever you like, whatever your imagination can think of. There we go. And I need some sprinkles. I can't not add sprinkles. Let's make the pen smaller. I'm going to add some sprinkles just anywhere. There we go. And some green ones. Yeah. Okay, so we have a donut. I promise you this is going somewhere. Right, we have a donut. I'm just going to leave it one frame. So I'm not going to animate it. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay. Let's have a look. And I'm going to download it in the same way that we did with the other one. So I'm going to click export and I'm going to download just that one frame. Okay. So I need to go back into Scratch. I'm going to add another sprite. So another thing that we can use. Upload Right, there we go. So I'm uploading that donut that I just downloaded. Oh, there he is. Now, this donut is much bigger than our octopus. I think our octopus is going to struggle to eat this one. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. That makes sense? I think that makes sense. So let's try 50%. That's still quite big. Try 30. Ah, that's a good sized donut for an octopus, I think. I think so. And I am going to make this donut, let's have a look, run around the space. I think I'm just going to make it float about. Let's have a look. Yes, so I just want this to happen whenever, and I want it to start with when our game starts. So I think I'm going to make this donut float around the space, just sort of go anywhere and everywhere, and I think we're going to get our octopus to chase the donut around. I think that's going to be our game. See how many times our octopus can chase this donut, or just keep chasing it forever. So I'm going to go when sprite click, and I'm going to go, where am I going to go? Yes, I need the forever block again, that's what I need. So I'm going to go to the forever block, there we go. And I want this to move around. But I want it to move around when it hits the octopus. And we're going to go in and we're going to code the octopus so that we can control the octopus as well. But for now, I'm going to make sure that our donut is going to jump away or run away when the octopus gets too close. So I'm going to need a motion. And I think I want it to go to a random position. So you can see that you can make the donut go to specific places, but I think I'm going to make it just go any random old way. So I want that in there, but I need an if-then block. So an if-then block is a bit like the forever block, but it means you can make it do specific things. So if blank happens, then something else happens. So we want it to say, if the donut touches the octopus or the octopus touches the donut will go to a random position. Oh, actually, I've just realised that we are coding. Are we coding the donut? We shouldn't be coding. We should be coding the donut. But it's still saying octopus. We'll have to have a go. Right, we'll see. We might have to pop this into another block of coding. Or do this in another place, but that's fine. And so now we need a sensing block because we want the donut to sense the octopus is coming. So there is sensing blocks here. This is the light blue. And you can see that it says if touching something. So we can choose the octopus as well. So if it's touching the octopus, then it goes to a random position. Okay? So I'm hoping it won't happen like that. Oh, yeah, so we have the octopus and now this is, now it's working. So this is the donut. We are coding the donut. But the octopus isn't moving yet. I tell you what, we can test it by just clicking forever. Oh, it's going to a random position. There we go. So it's definitely moving around the space quite quickly. So let's put that block in there. So it's going to go to a random position, not quite in the same way there. It's going to just pop around the space like that. Okay? There we go. So we need to go back to the octopus and we need to make sure that we can control the octopus. So we need to, let's have a look, get that moving and following our mouse around. So let's have a look. We need our events. And we want, I think we want it to follow motion. Where is that? If on edge bounds, no. We want it to go to mouse pointer. So we've got the go to. When that's clicked, it's going to go to the mouse pointer. But we want that to happen, I think, forever as well. So let's go forever like that. And now you can see it's kind of following it. So you're controlling that octopus with that mouse pointer, I believe. And now we need to turn this on. Okay. And now hopefully it should. Oh, yes. So when I move the octopus around, ta-da, there he goes. He's going to chase that donut around like that. Ta-da! Okay. There we go. Okay. We have a sort of a game, and we could just keep doing this forever. Having this octopus chase this around. Now, you don't have to have it with the mouse as well. You can have it controlled by the up, down, and left and right keys or whatever other buttons that you wanted to. Okay? So, hopefully everyone's with me. Are you still here? Are you still watching? Say hello again. I think we've still got, we're still live. We're good. So, there we go. So we have a little game. There are lots of other things you could do to this. This is sort of the start of a game. You can see how this game might work now. And, oh, it's still following me. Look, if I go down here. Oh, look, he's chasing me. There we go. Maybe, let's have a look. Go to, oh no, point direction, point towards. We don't want it to point towards. Cool. Thanks. Okay, there's still people here. So now you could do things like maybe add a score or add a timer. So maybe you need to hit a certain amount of donuts in a certain amount of time. So that can get more and more complicated, obviously, the more detail that you add. But I can show you how to add a score. And a score is a variable. So you might notice down here there are different things that we haven't used. We haven't used operators yet, or variables, but we can do that. Let's have a look. We need to add a variable. So a variable is a block that holds a number. So it holds information, and we want this block to hold the score information. So we need to make a variable, and that should pop up. I'm hoping you can see that. And I'm going to call it the score. And I want that for, all the sprites. There we go. So now you can see up in the corner here, the octopus is floating around it. It says a score. Now, nothing is happening at the moment. We're not getting a better score each time that we touch the donut. Nothing's happening. It says score 0. So we need to change that score or change the variable when something happens. So you can see that there are different variable blocks over there, and they do different things. And at the moment they say my variable, but if you click on that, you should see score. So that thing that you've created pops up there as well. So we want to add it into our donut. So when that donut gets hit, we want the score to change. So we're going to not set the variable, we want to change the variable by 1. So we want to add 1 to the score every time that donut gets hit. So I'm going to do that. I think this should work. I'm going to pop that into there like that. So now, let's have a look. I'm going to change, I need to change not my variable, I want to change the score by 1. So when the donut touches the octopus, the score should change. There we go. So now I can chase the donut around and I can pop that score up. So now my score is 25. Yes, I've got 25. So we have a score. So you could play this with someone. You could see how long it takes you to get a certain score. Maybe first to 100 donuts if you wanted to play for that long. Or we could add lots of different things as well. So we could add a timer. Tell you what, we've got like 5 minutes left. So we can add a timer. We've got 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Let me know. And I'll try and answer them for you. And I can also explain what's happening on Friday, because it's not Friday today. I have to remember it's not Friday today. It's still Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. But I have lost track of all of the time. Right, so we can add a timer as well. We can add a timer. So you can see this little block here says timer. We can click that on. So now you should be able to see there is a timer up there. Now our timer in Scratch is a little bit tricky to work with. You can't stop the timer, which is a little bit annoying. You can't hide it either, so when you turn it on, it's just there. But we can reset it as well. So I think we're going to reset the timer in here. So now when the flag is clicked, our timer should restart. So let's stop the clock, stop our game, and start it again. And we need to reset the score. So that's important. So now when our game restarts, it restarts the timer, but our score keeps going. So now it's just going every time we stop the game. So if I restart it now, it just keeps going. Now that would be cheating a little bit, I think. So we need to change that. We are going to, let's have a look. Go to the variable. I need to reset. So I'm going to set the variable to 0. Along with that timer. So let's stop and start. And I need to make sure that says score. That's what I need to do. There we go. So now each time you start the game, there you go. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's just going to keep going. And your timer is going as well. Now, it is a little bit annoying that you can't stop the timer, but you can stop things when it gets to a certain time. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, this coding in these blocks are looking a little bit confusing, but if you build them up sort of slowly, hopefully they don't get too confusing. And if you know when things aren't working as well, and you can take things out, you can try different things if you like. So just because I'm doing it this way doesn't mean this is the best and the most perfect way. Can you put a timer going down? I don't think you can put a timer going down, but I'll show you what I mean when we can stop things after it gets to a certain time. We'll do that quickly, okay? So yeah, I should say just because I'm doing this this way, this is not the most perfect way to do it. I'm just doing it a way to show you how you could do it. So if you find a better way of it working, that's fine. Do that, okay? So we need one of these green blocks, I think, that we haven't used yet. And we need to change our forever blocks. We don't want it to go forever. We actually want it to go until the time is a certain time. So I'm going to stop that. You can see the timer keeps going. That's one annoying thing with Scratch, is that the timer just keeps going. So I'm going to move that forever block. And I think I need to go repeat until. So I want this to keep going. All of this, so I'm going to get rid of that forever block. I'm going to right click and delete that block, and I need to repeat it until the timer, I think maybe is 20 seconds, and that is one of these operators. now let's have a look. It should be this block here. So if the timer is bigger than, is it bigger than? Yes, the timer is bigger than this. Let's have a look. And I need to change that from 50 to 20. Now that doesn't necessarily mean the time. You have to add in your variable, or your timer even. So if we go back to sensing, you can see the timer, you can click and drag that in. So now it should repeat until the timer is 20 seconds. And then it should stop. So we can add in, let's see, no, we should add a stop all. Now, even the stop all won't stop the timer. Timers are a little bit annoying in this game, but you can make your own timer as well. So let's stop that. And let's see if it works. So when that is clicked, oh, we need to click these. There we go. Is that going as well? Yeah, so let's stop that and let's start it again. Right. Okay, now, oh, I'm going to chase the donut around the space for 20 seconds. What score do you think I'm going to get? Ooh. And sometimes it just appears exactly where you are, which is helpful. Other times it's all the way over the other side. Da-da-da. Let's go. Oh, stop. Okay, so it doesn't stop the timer, but it does stop everything else happening in 20 seconds. So in 20 seconds, I got 57, which I'm quite proud of, actually. 57, I don't think is a bad score. So that is sort of the start of our game. Now, I've just kind of been making this up as I've been going along, this little bit anyway. So if you want to add different things in, if you want other things to happen, maybe a trophy appears when the octopus gets a certain amount, you can do that. So just because I've built it this way doesn't mean you have to do that as well. But it's a great place to start, and especially a great place to start when you're adding in your own elements as well. So we could have just found a ball in our sprites. We could just add a ball from the Scratch catalogue, or we could just make our own with Piskel. So I think we're going to leave it there for our Scratch and Piskel exploration. As I said, if you want a little bit more of a example or explanation of these two things, you can go back and you can watch the other two live streams. They're about as long as this one, about an hour long, but you can skip through the bits that are boring if it's just me talking, and you can see how that works. There are also some explanations and PDF sheets on our website, MVM at Home, or mvm.org/MVM at Home. If you want to find those, you can download them. They'll take you through things, making things step by step. And I think later on I will be uploading the instructions for how to make this as well with these things too. But if you do want to go back and just rewatch this stream to see how I did it and copy it yourself, we'll upload this stream after we are finished as well. So I hope that sort of made sense and that was a little bit fun. We've made a little game. We can do it again, keep going. You could challenge a friend to see how many donuts they could catch. You could make something else, There are lots of links in the video description. Yes, there are. So if you want to have a look in the video description, you can follow some of those links and hopefully they'll be helpful. I should say as well, let us know if you make anything, because I'd be very interested to see how you get on, to see what you create. Sort of share them with us on your social media channels. But I'm going to have to go because my voice is going. And yeah, so anything you do share as well, we will share in a live stream. So you might be able to see we have some examples on the side of Piskel art characters that other people have made from our first video. So if you do make any characters, share them with us and we'll share them too, and we will pop them up in a future live stream. I'm hoping that I'll get enough examples I can do a whole live stream about all the different things that you make. And if you make a game and it works, you can upload them on Scratch and you could share them with us as well, so we could play the game that you made. We'll be very excited, okay? So yeah, do let us know how you get on. Let us know if you have any questions. I will be sort of signing off now. I will be back on Friday, when it's actually Friday, to be playing not Age of Empires, Assassin's Creed, but not as you might expect. I will be playing Assassin's Creed, but the walkthrough version, sort of the museum version, So if you'd like to learn a little bit about ancient Greece, you can come and join me on Friday. I will be exploring that world that they've created that you can just sort of walk through and explore without, playing the actual Assassin's Creed game. So exploring the way that we can learn through video games. And then on the following Tuesday, next week, I will be exploring Twine, which is a little bit like these kind of things that we've been working with. It's free software for making games, but it's more about storytelling. So you can make your own interactive story with Twine. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be showing you how to get started creating your own kind of story. So we'll be posting about that a little bit later on, and we'll post some links. So you can always have a look at Twine in the meantime if you like. It can be a little bit confusing to get your head around, but we'll be explaining everything next week if you want to explore that too. So I'm going to head off. I'm going to get a glass of water because my voice is going. And I hope you all have a lovely Tuesday. Do let us know how you get on. And I will look forward to seeing you on Friday, hopefully. So thank you very much, guys. I'll be ending the stream there. Have a lovely day. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining me.